Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Elite City Podcast. Before we get started today, I want to say two things right off the top. Thank you to everybody who reached out to me in the past few weeks. If you don't know, I had an unexpected death in the family, and that's where we were. And, thank you first and foremost. And secondly, if anybody doesn't know, I suffer from anxiety and depression, and that's what I was going through the process and having to deal also with that. So mental health is very important to me. So if you think you need any sort of help, there's no shame in asking for it. Get yourself some help, and just do it for you. It's all about you. So, again, thank you for everybody, and enjoy this episode.
It's glad you're back.
Thanks, man.
I'll continue to just send you random wrestling stories forever, no matter what you're going through. That's my solution.
And it really helped, honestly. I think I told you we talked for a few minutes before we started. It kept me grounded in kept one foot on the ground and based in normalcy. And it was.
I just love the idea of I'm going through something very serious right now. I'm like, did you hear about Hangman Page? And I'll just say
right. And again, it was awesome because, unfortunately the world does move on, but it does keep you grounded in a sense of normalcy. And it was needed. Do you want to start with your topic, sir?
Yeah, I want to start on something.
Perfect.
First question to start off.
Mm-hmm.
Is this current Hangman MJF story doing it for you? Because I'm not, I know it's going to be a good match, but I'm not super into the story.
Yes, but my one complaint is I don't, depending on how it ends, I don't think Hangman should have lost the belt. I think they should have made MJF now how he's proving himself as a champion.
Yeah.
I joked leading into this, he's wrestled more in 2026 than he wrestled in the first 6 years of AEW. But that being said, I have a feeling MJF has another acting gig coming up, and my opinion was they put the belt on him now, and then it goes back to Hangman. That's just me.
I don't think they're going to do the thing where he can't challenge for the belt ever.
That's what I mean. Or they're going to do something like, both of them are going to I don't know. We'll say, MJF hires Don Callis family, and obviously the Elite back Hangman, and everybody is knocked out at the end, and the show just ends with a double count out. I know
or
people would go bananas, but or someone gets kidnapped, we'll say, so the match never technically ends.
Right. Because I know the match is going to be good. Their match is
good.
The match is always good. And they've had great feuds before. I liked the stuff they've done before, but this one, it seems kind of disjointed. Hangman earned the shot through he beat a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then he put his career on the line because he wanted to pick the stipulation. But then he didn't really pick the stipulation because then they had to debate and decide between themselves what the stipulation was going to be. And then they did. And then Tony Khan was like, I'm just going to go with this. That was weird. And the fact that it's a Texas death match again, what do you think of that?
I mean, look who you're talking to. I'm never going to complain about that. I understand where everybody's coming from, though.
I don't mind the violence aspect of it because it makes sense for their feud. I feel like Hangman's last big moment was a Texas death match. And if they're doing it again, then it kind of seems that's just the thing that he does. And if he's going to do it all the time, special. If it's every time Hangman wants to win a match, it's a Texas death match, it becomes, I don't know, kind of overplayed.
Unless this is truly the end of their feud for, I don't want to say ever, they're both
pretty young, yeah.
Pretty young, not very young. They're both pretty young, but I will say, whoever wins this, Hangman lives up to his stipulation for a year or two and then somehow gets back into it, or like heel Hangman had it, he turns heel and then his contract was going to be up and he said the only way he'd come back is if he could fight for the title. They'll find a way to write it back in.
Yeah.
But that being said, I have the feeling that they put the belt on MJF now because there's an acting gig coming up. That's just me.
That would make sense.
As far as to answer your first question that I kind of skirted, the feud's done enough, but I have a thing that I love and hate MJF, like, because he's predictable yet unpredictable, if that makes sense. Like, he's going to come out, he's going to complain, he's going to get his way, it's going to be overturned, but the order always changes,
right?
So like I am kind of getting a little sick of it, but at the same time, that means he's doing his job. So,
and I kind of liked how the last time they feuded when Hangman was champion, Hangman first kind of got one, because faces in wrestling are notoriously dumb, right? They make dumb decisions.
Right.
Like when they get to pick the stipulation, why isn't it they can do whatever they want? Like, why is, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like my example was like when Copeland picked against Moxley, I'm going to pick a no disqualification match against the guy who has like 5 guys who always interfere in all of his matches. Like, why would you pick that's a dumb stipulation? Pick a match where they can't interfere, if anything, right? Like,
it's the most extremely ruled match ever. Like,
right.
87 referees.
Right. Every single thing is just an immediate disqualification. Like, why would you not do that? Right. Like, so it's Hangman, in the last time they feuded, had got a one up on him, right? Remember, MJF had the guaranteed title shot, and he was like, "I'm not going to use the guaranteed title shot. I'm going to try to goad you into a match."
Oh yeah.
And then Hangman goaded him into the match and was like, "But you have to use the title shot if you're going to be in the match. If you're going to wrestle for the title, you have to give up your guaranteed title shot. This is your guaranteed title shot." And he got him to give it up, and like I was like, "Oh, a face is acting smart." And then like the next week, the MJF like did the thing with Mark Briscoe where he attacked him and like Hangman let him keep his title shot. And like, it is, you're right that like MJF's thing where he like always gets one up on you, and then gets caught. Like, he does it a lot.
Yeah,
and it's kind of tired at this point. Like, I kind of wish that when Hangman was like, "I want it to be a Texas death match," and then like MJF came up with some other actual stipulation, and like one of them goaded the other one into agreeing to it, versus like the way, "Oh, MJF's going to cheat, but then he's going to get caught and it's going to not work." Like, it was, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, as soon as he flipped the coin, I was literally like, that's probably a 2-headed coin. I was like, but, I mean, we grew up watching like Bugs Bunny. We're not going to fall for this. And then when I was like, he didn't do anything. Man, this is stupid. And then Hangman was like, wait a minute. And I was like, they're doing the double coin. That's awesome. And then I started to think about it. I was like, okay, this is like becoming like, it's not there yet, but it's becoming, like I said, he either screws somebody or gets screwed. Depending on the outcome of that, he either gets what he initially wanted or gets denied what he wanted. It's all just like, interchangeable.
Like, Hangman is at least being like a less stupid face. Like, at least he checked the coin. There's a lot of faces to be like, well, I guess there's nothing I can do. And like, so at least he checked it because it was blatantly obvious. I do kind of wish it was another stipulation though. I was thinking before they even announced Texas Death that like, oh, they're doing this match again. They faced each other a lot recently. They're probably going to put a stipulation on it. I was kind of hoping that it would be a Iron Man match because that ties into like their history. Like, MJF had a match at Revolution a few years ago against Danielson in an Iron Man match. And then Hangman had a match against Danielson that wasn't an Iron Man match, but went an hour. And I could see both of them being like, okay, we've been in this kind of match. We've been in this kind of match. We've been in, brutal, whatever, street fight matches. But now it's time to prove who's like the actual best wrestler. I thought that would have been cool.
Well, I have a theory. I'm glad you brought this up. I've been meaning to talk to you about this. So I have a feeling that the Mox Takeshita match, like, they keep stressing over and over and over again. There's no time. It could be 17 hours long.
Right.
Like, I have a feeling that was put in as like a buffer match, like for if they need time, because I think something like either big is either going to start or like, I don't want to say like the big Bullet Club thing is going to happen at the end of the pay-per-view, but like that match and them stressing the fact that it could be long, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be not necessarily short, but it's going to be one of those, you're going to need it as a buffer match because you're not going to know where you are until you're in that moment.
I didn't think of that. I thought of as soon as they said no time limit, that's definitely going to be long. But you're right. It would be kind of fun if they said there's no time limit and then it ended in like 10 minutes.
Right. And then you're like, oh my God, now, like what's going to happen? Either the Hangman match goes like the main event goes an hour, or there's all kind of shenanigans and people are debuting or coming back from an injury, or
maybe Ospreay might come back at the end. That's my
Ospreay. Excuse me, Ospreay can come back. I mean, you have Copeland and Christian out there. Excuse me, like you could, somebody paid a bounty. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people.
Yeah.
That. So yeah, I looked at the Takeshita Mox match. Excuse me. As like the buffer match to be in the moment, like, oh, okay, we need 30 more minutes. Can you guys give us 15 instead of 40?
Because I feel like I don't know. It does feel like something's gonna happen with this main event because they just did Hangman against MJF like a few months ago.
Yeah, like you said something like 2 seconds ago, like Ospreay coming back. What if we get like just say a heel Ospreay and MJF just gave him a boatload of money to attack Hangman in the middle of the match and then leave
or something. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
So but two things I want to say on that note.
Yeah.
Since this is going to be a Texas death match and it's, obviously it's the main event, it's going to be violent.
Yeah.
The Swerve Brody King stuff seemed like it was heading towards something violent too, where he hit him with a chain and then choked him out.
Yeah.
You think they're going to do two, like, is that going to be like a dog? Because he said something about like, you're like a dog.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to be a dog collar match.
So are they going to do a dog collar match and then follow it up with a Texas death match?
I think so. I mean, that there's way too much, for dog. There has to be a dog collar match.
I definitely feel like there has to be a dog collar match, but it seems like a little.
Good point. But it is the first
two very similar matches, one right after, like, probably not right after another, but within like a couple matches of each other.
Yeah.
Because Swerve and Brody King is going to be, unless they open the show with Swerve and Brody King, and then do a series of other matches, and then do the Texas Death match. That would work.
That would. That's a good point.
And the only other thing I wanted to say about this is I think it is funny. They did this whole convoluted thing to get Hangman his title match where he had to you have to beat Kenny Omega and you have to beat Andrade and like whatever. And then even Brody King had to do like an eliminator match to get a match. And then Kevin Knight's just like, I want a title match. And MJF goes, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I get it storyline wise. MJF accepted it to prove to Hangman that he can like beat his friend. I get that, but it is just funny that everyone goes through like various hoops to get their stuff, and then he just asked, and they gave it to him.
Right. I think it's utterly hilarious that the eliminator match exists, but I do think it's great.
Yeah. And it's it's not just an AEW thing. This has been a wrestling thing forever.
Right.
For there's always, WWE did it. There's always just like, you have to win the Royal Rumble to main event WrestleMania. Oh, but there's another title match. And that's just a guy who wants to have a title match. That you don't have to win anything to get that. I think it's
right. Yeah.
They've always done that. That like, oh, sometimes you have to go through an entire tournament and beat, 10 guys to get a title match. And sometimes you just ask champion and they give it to you. Like Thunder Rosa. I get why she got a title match because she was they explained it. She was a previous champion. She never lost. Sure. But that doesn't always happen, right? Like sometimes the previous champion just doesn't ever get a match. Like that, it's not a consistent thing. Like Thunder Rosa got a title match, but so could have, Willow if she just asked for one.
True.
Like I just think it's funny.
No, I totally agree. It's I don't know, it's the tropes of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You look at it under a microscope.
Like, I will put my career on the line in order to get this stipulation. And then some other times just like, this is the stipulation. The other guy's, yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like like when Brody King, which is like, I asked Tony Khan if I could have a eliminator match, and he said yes. Like, couldn't everyone just do that? Like, isn't that just like
Yeah, because like, what's he gonna say? No. I mean,
right? Okay, he said no. I'll ask
yeah,
again later.
yeah, yeah. Like, why wouldn't you?
I just think it's funny.
No, I agree. It's the stupidness of pro wrestling, but it's great. Well, if anybody was not aware, Ring of Honor is in the process of, I don't want to say a full blown reboot, but we'll say it's more than 50% of a reboot. The new show debuted last night. First off, it was 2 hours, which I thought was absolutely incredible. Did not expect that, because most of the Ring of Honor shows have been around 45 to 50 minutes. They must have told the talent to make it very interactive with like the crowd. It's very much crowd participation involved. Two things that made me laugh. During the Persephone match, there was like a local girl, and like she was obviously the jobber, and like her name was Anna something, so they were going, let's go Anna. So like every time Persephone like was destroying her, she would go, let's go Anna, and then like power bomb her. And the crowd was like loving it. Yeah. There was this little kid during the MXM match. They versed Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn, and there was a little kid that kept yelling at Mansoor. So halfway through the match, Mansoor said, "Shut up, kid." And so when Juice tagged in, you heard the kid say, "Hey, Juice, punch him in the nuts." So Juice said, "All right, I'm gonna punch you in the nuts." And like the whole place, referee, everybody started laughing. It was like, I think every wrestler had like a blast. I think they had more fun than the crowd. That being said, the way that they produce the show, whenever you're there, like there's no nobody gets entrance videos. There's no, it's just like, it seems like it's just like match. And then they piece the matches together, because all of the like interviews were all pre-taped. So like the live crowd wasn't seeing that at all. So they really don't have to worry about spoilers for
yeah, that's pretty good. They could just record a whole ton of matches.
Yeah. And like, like of course, like for title changes, it might get spoiled, but they wouldn't hold on to a match like that for weeks on end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they know they're taping like the next month, so like they'll do the title change on like the first of the shows.
Right.
Not air it 4 weeks later.
Right. And with the with all that being said, it's 100% free for you to attend. And from what I saw online, people were saying you get it was roughly between 2 hours and 10 minutes worth of matches. And they specifically said, like, literally there'd be like the 3 count, they play the winner's music, the winner would be in the ring for like 10 seconds, his music would stop, like the next music would hit, and then they would, like, it was just like one right after another. Everybody seemed to have a blast. Oh wait, where was I on my notes? Oh, okay, here we are. Sorry. It makes me wonder, like, Honor Club must be doing very well financially, because if they're able to rent this arena, excuse me, it's not arena, it's television studio. Excuse me. If they're able to rent this studio, set up a ring, and have it be free, and still pay the wrestlers their salaries, like, Honor Club must be doing enough to pay for at least the building rental, because you figure like they're using AEW cameras, AEW sound equipment, like they own all the other stuff.
Yeah, in one sense it saves them money because they don't have to move stuff around, but in the other sense they tape it before Dynamite, so like they were already moving stuff around, so it's not like that cost them more. So technically this is probably costing them more because they have to put stuff in a separate building.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so like Honor Club now must be paying for something.
Either Honor Club is doing well, or they're trying to make it a separate thing. Like they're going to try to pitch this as a show
True.
somewhere else. Like we were talking earlier offline before the podcast recorded about like the WBD Paramount stuff and how it's going to affect AEW, whatever. And it may affect AEW. We don't know. We're not in TV.
Right.
But what it did make me think then doing Honor Club this way, or the Honor show this way, is that maybe because Tony Khan has in the past said he doesn't want to go to another network because WBD is like their partner, right? Like that's, and
true.
According to that CNN article, WBD owns a small share of AEW,
right?
Like something like 1% or 5% or 10%, some small amount, like not a controlling share, but a small share. Maybe in this merger, Tony Khan sees an opportunity to either pitch it again to WBD now that Paramount might own them, or go somewhere else. Like be like, okay, well now that they're basically a new company, maybe that changes their relationship with AEW. So now he can also pitch it to, Amazon or Apple or NBC or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so maybe he no longer feels the same loyalty that if WBD doesn't want Ring of Honor, then it's not going to be a TV show. Maybe he can now pitch it. Maybe he's going to record this and pitch it to networks. I don't know.
True. And they seem to be going like with the same formula. There's like the up and comers who are like main event Ring of Honor that slip onto AEW TV, kind of like how Blake Christian and Lee Johnson were. Now they're kind of like Collision staples.
Right.
Like they have that like echelon of people, like if Athena's on AEW TV, people are not going to be like, who is that? Right. But like they're also not treating it as 100% like, I don't want to say a performance center or like an all rookie show either. Like, yes, there are the beginning of the shows are, people that might only be in the business 1 or 2 years. But it's not just that.
And every like rookie show, even like NXT, when it's a rookie, you need like a guy who has like 10 years of experience.
100%
show too.
Yeah. And they Stu just bumped my mic. They've been doing that really well. And I'm glad they didn't change the format that way. Like the rookies were still at the beginning. And then like, as the card obviously got on, it got bigger names on it. So I'm glad that that's not going to change, because I like that it gave, it's going to give a lot of people in Florida that are indie wrestlers or people willing to travel to Florida to wrestle an opportunity.
Right. And I think they probably, you were saying that everyone seemed like they were having fun. I feel like the wrestlers probably like it more, because even though there's only, a couple hundred people in this studio, it's 100 people who are there.
Yeah.
It's 100 people who are there to see that show versus when they recorded it before or after Dynamite or Collision. Like, first of all, you weren't there to see Ring of Honor. You were there to see Dynamite Collision. But also, like, Dynamite starts at 8 and Ring of Honor would start recording at 7. Like, the building's half empty when they start, right? Like, people are filtering in, and then the show ends at 10 and they might record another couple matches, but like, people are leaving. Like, when I went to Dynamite, whenever it was, that's how it happened. Like, you show up midway through a Ring of Honor match because they start whenever they start. And then I stayed for the Ring of Honor at the end, but like, it's 11 o'clock by the time it's over and people are leaving and the crowd is tired and like, they're not really paying attention to what's happening. Whereas this is like people who came for this show. So they're going to be more into it.
And I like Sammy talked about it on his newest vlog, and like, the vibe, like they were backstage like playing basketball and stuff. The vibe, he like kind of made it seem like it was like the quote unquote good old days, like just a bunch of him and his buddies in a bingo hall somewhere, except everybody knew they were getting paid because they have contracts. Everybody's in a better place. But like, to bring back that feeling for them is probably cool too. Like, it's way easier to get 50 to 100 people to cheer or boo you than it is to get an arena full of people.
Right.
Like, seriously,
once if they say they record this every, 3 weeks or something, right? It'll be like like NXT when it started, and they were filming them all they used to film at like Full Sail University.
Yeah.
Or like ECW in the past, where like every show was so you got to see the same people, right? There's like only 100 people there. Half of them are the same people who come every couple weeks to watch you, and they get into your gimmick more because they've seen you. It's hard to like go to a Dynamite, and before Dynamite starts, there's like a person you've only heard of, you've never actually seen wrestling, and you don't know their gimmick. You don't know they're like, oh, that's their big move, I'm supposed to react to that. Like, you don't know that. Whereas if you're seeing them every couple weeks, they'll get over with like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. He has this cool move, or he has this crowd chant that I get a part of, or you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to get the crowd engaged when they actually know who you are and have seen you before.
And like I've said a million times on the show, like it's giving people a chance, but it's also like AEW doesn't have to rely on, enhancement talent, or, the local guy's going to get destroyed by Eddie Kingston. Like, you could have somebody get destroyed, but it's somebody from Ring of Honor that, everybody knows, like, he was been getting too big for his britches on ROH TV. So they sent him to the big show and he gets pummeled. Like,
and there's always something that they can pitch, like why he's there. Like if Jimmy Jones is wrestling and you've never heard of him, you're like, oh, that guy's losing immediately. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
But if Jimmy Jones, they can say, oh, he's been in Ring of Honor for the last 6 months and he's won 10 matches in a row.
Exactly.
Like, oh, this guy might actually do something. It's not necessarily going to be a squash. And if it might still be a squash match, but at least there's a possibility of that turning into, a 10-minute actual match.
And that goes to, we've argued on this show in a pleasant way about, do you gatekeep AEW, or do you let AEW spread its wings and be for the masses?
Right.
That is a way for Tony to bring it to the masses, but still gatekeep it to the hardcores, where if someone's channel surfing, again, they don't care about Jimmy Jones in the ring. But if you watch, if you watch the expanded universe, like, oh my God, he got his shot on Dynamite. That was so cool. So
like one of the coolest things about like AEW Dark was you would watch people like The Acclaimed or something be on Dark, and then they show up on Dynamite and you're like, oh, I've seen these guys for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And now you feel like, oh, you got to see them develop into who they are. Whereas you could just not watch that and you would still get some enjoyment out of it, but it's different if you'd seen them develop.
Yeah. And, you might not even realize that show existed until somebody brings that up. Like, oh yeah, I used to watch them on Dark, or, you find out online, or say, oh, what's that? Oh, here's the link. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. Like, really, this is awesome.
Right.
So now, again, I understand why they can't push Ring of Honor on AEW TV every week. I mean, they do get there like, oh, that's the Ring of Honor champion, but they can't say like, subscribe to Honor Club.
Right.
I understand contracts and I understand marketing and everything, but still, like, Tony should be able to say, at least maybe even on pay-per-views. We'll say pay-per-views because that's a different audience.
Right.
It's not on national television. Like on hey, I should be able to say this one time during a 4-hour pay-per-view. You should subscribe to Honor Club.
Right.
I don't know. But I have a feeling that I think you're right. I'm sorry. Almost didn't give you credit. I do have a feeling though that you're right with they're either shopping this for something, or Tony just said, screw it. This is my pet project that I absolutely love. I don't care. This is what we're going to do.
And it always had like the benefit of Ring of Honor is one of the benefits of Ring of Honor is it gives you a history of things. Like, I didn't even realize this. I looked at the Ring of Honor YouTube page like yesterday, and they have like this I forget what they call it, Saturday something. And they show like the best of something.
Oh, yeah.
And like there was like the best of Bryan Danielson or something was last Saturday. And it's like a 2-hour thing of just like Bryan Danielson matches. And I'm like, that's cool. Like AEW has a pretty short history of, 6 years. But like the first match there was Roderick Strong against Bryan Danielson from, 2007 or something, right? Like,
oh, so good too.
And now you can be like, oh yeah, I know those guys. They're in AEW, but I've never seen them wrestle in a Ring of Honor 15 years ago. So that kind of gives them a built-in history of, it's only a 6-year-old promotion, but we actually have, 20 years of of history to fall back on. So it is pretty cool. And then you can say, Athena has been the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor, which doesn't sound like much until you're like, oh, Ring of Honor's been around for like 20 years. So yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's different to say someone's the longest reigning champion in AEW history because you're like, oh, that's only been 6 years. Really.
Right.
There's only been, 10 champions. But when it's a 20-year history or 25-year history, however old Ring of Honor is, like that adds some kind of weight to it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Now, do you think that this means they're going to tape Dynamite and Collision together more often?
That's a good question.
Now they can, because they don't have to tape Ring of Honor.
I was gonna say, now they can. Well, see, I would like to. I mean, though there might be a way we could look at the media deal, because I hate how like Collision just randomly, like it'll be live for like 3 weeks in a row, then taped for like randomly 4. Like I wonder what the ratio is on how many they get in, because I would like to know, because those are the better shows. No offense.
Yeah. I wonder if like there's something in the contract, like this has to be live a certain number of times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Because like the way that it's live or not live makes, to me anyway, it doesn't make any sense. But that is a good question. I mean, you would deal with spoilers a little bit, but you could keep people healthier, and
you can have more people on the shows, right? Because sometimes if they tape a show, in Texas on a Wednesday, and then the next show is in, Boston on a Saturday, not that they necessarily space them out that much, but
right.
Point of this, John Moxley's not going to be on both shows because he's not going to wrestle on Wednesday and then immediately fly across the country and be wrestling on Saturday. He might, but he might not. Whereas if they're taped together, Mox might show up on Collision when he might not necessarily show up on Collision regularly.
That's a good point. And
it cuts down on travel for everybody. They only have to be at one place all at one time.
Yeah. Now, here's the kicker. Would you like record them like the day after? Would you do like Dynamite live and then like Thursday night record for Saturday, or would you do it all on one night?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of hard to do it all in one night because it ends up being
4 hours. Yeah,
it ends up being a little bit longer, right? Because sometimes Dynamite's an hour and 10 minutes, or an hour and 2 hours and 10 minutes, or 2 hours and 20 minutes, and then they have to switch everything over. So then that's like a 4 or 5 hour taping.
Yeah.
So that's long. So that might suffer from the same thing that Ring of Honor suffers from. That like by the time the main event of Collision on, it's like midnight.
That's true.
People are tired, right? Like that could be a problem there. So it would probably work better if they did them back to back, like Wednesday and Thursday. But then you have to sell twice as many tickets. I mean, that would help them because they could sell twice as many tickets. But if Collision doesn't sell, I'm assuming Collision doesn't sell as well as Dynamite. Right. Dynamite's the main show. So I don't know. It's a tough call.
It is. Wow. I mean, it's a good question to ask, but I could see it, now that we talk about like logistics and stuff, like I could see them running, we'll use Pittsburgh, for example, even though we're not allowed to use the big arena because WWE, but we'll pretend suspension of disbelief. You'd have Dynamite on Wednesday at PPG, and then Wednesday you'd go over to the Peterson and do Collision. Like if they would do things like that, maybe.
Because Dynamite does seem to be selling well. I know they're still doing kind of smaller stadiums, like doing smaller buildings that hold 3,000 people as opposed to like a NHL arena. But those 3,000 are selling out pretty consistently now. For a while they were like running 3,000 seat venues and they'd be half full half the time. Yeah. Right. So now they're selling out the 3,000 seat ones pretty consistently. So I feel like they're going to start sizing them up again. Like now we're going to go to a 10,000 seat building. Now we're going to go to a 12,000 seat building because they can sell that. But I don't think they can sell it for Dynamite and Collision. Like
no, I agree. I agree. That's interesting. And kudos to AEW for tickets literally being legit affordable, not pretend affordable.
Yeah, like you can I say this all the time. I've looked up. I know it's WrestleMania, so WrestleMania is always different, right? But it's like say not WrestleMania, say like Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber, he was here. last year.
Oh, okay.
Right. And it's a big show, but it's not WrestleMania. So it's not their like main show. Right. And I remember it was in the Dome, the Sky Dome, Rogers Center, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge building. It's a baseball stadium. Right. So the last row, I was like, oh, I would go to Elimination Chamber if it was here. That's a cool show. The last section, like the highest section, the top deck was like $250. And like, it's the top deck of a baseball stadium. Like you can't see anything. Like,
yeah. Like literally like there where the pitcher's mound is.
Right. Like that's, if that was $50, I'd go just to be in the building because that's kind of fun. But like for $250, I'm not paying where I can't see anything. That's insane. Yeah. And then All Out was here down the road, like where the Leafs play. And it was $50 for like good seats, not like full seats, but like 100 level, like good, like, so yeah, I'm not paying 5 times more to sit in the back row of a baseball stadium and see nothing. Like that's, so yeah, good job of AEW. Like I know that's why they're selling a lot of tickets, and that makes sense. Like yeah, $50 is a good price to pay to go to a wrestling show. 300 is stupid, right? Like unless you're like in the front row of the main event, sure, then 300 makes sense. But like,
I was just gonna say 300 for front row of a pay-per-view. Yes, sure, not your weekly Monday night show, right? And the back row.
I think Raw was here recently. I think I looked it up, and like the back row was like $200. I'm like, that's just a Raw. That's a random weekly show that like it might be good, but it might not. Like it's hit and miss, right? Like,
but like you have to think like, okay, you have a son who is getting into about that wrestling age,
right?
And like if he would get into WWE, like first off, I would hope you'd show him the way, and but I understand that AEW is a little violent though, but I would hope you'd at least let him know that there are options for when you get older. But like you think about it, that's a $400 night for just tickets. Like of course he's going to want a shirt,
right?
Well, yeah. What if you have 2 kids? You know, like
you could easily spend $1,000 going to WWE
on the Monday night show. Like, that's the thing. Like, of course the kid's going to want a shirt, and WWE is a merchandising machine. So you got to get the program, you got to get the shirt.
And then you buy food while you're there and whatever.
Of course, you got to get the big drink. So you get the cup with Roman Reigns on it. Like, yeah, it's literally $1,000.
Right.
To go see Raw. Like that's ridiculous.
So like AEW's ticket, I know WWE makes money and they're successful. Like no one's going to say that.
Right.
They're not. But the attendance is creeping back up for AEW. When they started Dynamite and it was hot and it was new for the first couple of years, not the pandemic years, but the first couple of years otherwise, they were selling out, NHL stadiums where they sold, 10,000 tickets. Yeah. And then it was a bit of a downturn and they were still going to those buildings, but they were selling 3,000 and 3,000 people in a 10,000 person building.
Yeah. That's
bad and feels bad, right? Like it.
Yes.
So then they smartly started doing, 3,000 seat buildings, and now they're selling those out pretty consistently. And like, it looks good on TV. And there is a point where they're going to start ramping it back up again.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, as long as they keep ticket prices where they are, where like it's affordable that you could spend, $100 as opposed to, $500 to go to a show. Like it's not family friendly in the sense that I would take my 11-year-old to a WWE show for family purposes. Not that I like the wrestling, but like, what I mean?
Like if he got into it, you guys would go.
Right. Whereas I wouldn't take him to an AEW show because it's maybe Dynamite, because that's usually fine. But like an AEW pay-per-view, probably not.
You'd either have a child that was utterly mortified or that absolutely loved it.
Right. But yeah, the taping schedule is going to be interesting to see what they do, because I think they are going to start hitting bigger venues for Dynamite. And what does that mean for Collision? Do they tape it after, or do they tape it in maybe your idea is correct. They do 2 shows in the same building, same town, but one's smaller.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I we're trying to button up here, but I think there was a quote back in the day they were asking Sandman about the ECW arena, and he was like, I would rather wrestle at the ECW arena in front of the ECW fans, the 1,000 people that were there, excuse me, as opposed to Madison Square Garden and only half the people caring.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So like, even as a performer, like, oh, you could look at it like, oh man, just a year ago we were in a hockey arena. Now we're in a college arena, basketball arena.
Right.
But, or you could look at it as like, okay, but the people that are in that college basketball arena are going to be going bananas.
Right.
Because, that's who, like, they can sell that amount, like you said,
I mean, Dynamite does feel better when it's in a 3,000 seat building with 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Than in a 20,000 seat building with 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's the same amount, but it's, the building matters.
Yeah, for sure. I have a couple quick things before we go.
Yeah.
One, we've talked a lot about how I like that Dynamite feels like a real show. Like they have like standby matches that they can fit in when they have time. Yeah. I like that. So Agreed. Was the women's title match supposed to be the main event before they made the trios title match the main event? I guess in theory.
See, I had questions too, because I could have swore at the beginning of the show they said the main event was the women's match.
Right.
And then that match got made, and then they said, oh no, this is. So I mean, I guess, but I really don't know.
I kind of want there to be someone, because they, in kayfabe purposes, they structured the show so that the women's match would be the main event and probably budgeted, half an hour for the women's match just in case, right? So now that they put the trios title match in there, in theory, they would have had to bump something, right? Like some other match got knocked off the card. I kind of want there to be another wrestler who's like, no, I was supposed to have a promo and they cut me because of that match. And now I'm mad. Like Ricochet would be perfect for that, right? We were supposed to have a 10-minute segment, an interview segment, and they cut it so that they could put this trios match on, and now I'm upset. Like, I want to see that. That would be fun. I want them to do that.
I not want them to do that too with Ricochet, because then it could be like he could get his digs in at WWE and be like,
I think Ricochet would do it perfectly.
Again? Yeah. Yes. This again? Are you serious?
Yeah. That would be fun.
And then you could have like, they could do like a pre-tape, and you could have like Toa like film it on his phone, and like and he's in the middle of the promo, and then someone comes and is like, oh no, cut it, we don't need this now, guys. And
right.
Ricochet just goes bananas.
That would be fun. I want them to do that.
That would be absolutely incredible. Oh man.
Do you care about the trios titles yet?
I mean, every time they change hands, I care for about 10 seconds.
Right.
So, I mean, I already forgot that they changed hands until you said that.
Yeah. I get that. I like that they're trying, but I still don't really. And two final things. One, Hechicero rules that match with Mox. I have nothing else to say other than that match was great. He rules.
And his entrance music is absolutely incredible. And I don't know why he never came out to his CMLL music before, but make that his new music. His AEW music stunk.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
Yes.
And amazing. Final thing, unless you have anything else to say.
No, I'm good.
Are they hinting at Johnny Gargano with the FTR Ciampa stuff?
I think so. I really do.
Because Ciampa being like, oh, we had a match, but like the history they have is those two teams, right? Like that's the history they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then Ciampa doesn't have a partner. So I don't know I'm assuming Johnny Gargano has a contract. I don't know when it ends. I have no clue. Right. But I feel like they're hinting at it.
Well, him and his wife signed 3-year extensions roughly 3 years ago.
Right.
So, and I also think it's funny that we've talked about this before, that AEW handles NXT and WWE's past better than NXT and WWE does.
Right.
But anyways.
Yeah, they remember stuff that happened in another company 5 years ago.
It's a company
better than the other company remembers that it happened. Yeah, for sure. It's very weird. But I think that would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Because I don't know what else they're hinting at with this. Like
I agree.
Unless, I don't know, Ciampa's history better than I do. Does he have any other partners? Has he been in any other tag teams that would work here?
I don't think.
Because I don't think he's ever been in a long-term tag team besides Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was in like some stables. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong person. I don't want to get myself in internet trouble and say so. I'm just gonna go with I don't think.
Yeah, so I feel like that's maybe not this week because they're doing something on Collision this week. I feel like it's not this week, but I feel like it's happening at some point, like maybe at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we got a pay-per-view in 11 days or 10 days.
Yeah, something like that would be fun.
That would be very fun. All right. Well, everybody, again, thank you very much. This was fun. It was therapeutic and it felt good to be back. So we'll be back on our normal schedule, either Thursday or Friday, like we've been. So thank you very much. We are at Elite City Pod on all social media. We're also on YouTube. Make sure to leave a thumbs up, leave a like and a comment. It really helps us out. Helps the algorithm too. But yeah, like again, just thank you. And until next week, later.